Hello everyone, this is my reading vlog for A Court of Silver Flames. Right now, when I'm sitting down filming this, I have already finished the book and we will go back to this place in the end to talk about my finishing thoughts. But right now comes clips of me starting the book, my first initial thoughts about the book. Let's just jump to like 7 o'clock in the morning when I had finally gotten my hands on A Court of Silver Flames on its release date. So let us all watch me just woken up, bought the book, and started reading the book. It's quite early on Tuesday the 16th of February and I woke up early just to get started on the new Sarah J Maas book. Okay, so I'm sorry I haven't updated you yet, but I'm at 59% into the book. Page 441 to be precise, and chapter 42. And also, it's 2 days later, it's the 18th of February, and I am almost 60% into the book. And considering this is a 750 something page book, I consider that a great job of me, that I have read over 400 pages in 2 days, because I haven't read anything today. And that kind of translates to 200 pages a day, and I never read that much. But I am loving this book so far. Honestly, this might be my favorite Sarah J Maas book. Okay, so maybe it's not my favorite Sarah J Maas book, but this is so good. And right now, I can't think of any book that's better. I have written down some thoughts that I just wanted to share with you, and I just want to point out that this is a non-spoilery vlog. So if you haven't read this book, you can watch this without being spoiled, but at the same time, if you don't want to know anything about the book, then you should probably not watch this video. This is the first time for me that I have ever picked up a book the day of its release. This is a whole new experience for me, so I completely understand if you cannot read this as soon as it comes out, because I have been that way and this is the first time I have ever read a book on its release date. So I know the feeling of not wanting to be spoiled by everyone, but please don't spoil this book in the comments below if you have read this book, so that this could be a safe place, non-spoilery safe place. But if you don't want to know anything, then click off this video right now. This is your first and final warning. So now when that's done, I'm just gonna go through some points that I have written down about my experience reading this book. With all of Sarah J Maas's books, I always love her writing so much. It's lush, detailed, filled with emotions and details and world building. At the same time that it's not hard to read. It's not hard to understand her writing, and it's not hard to understand the characters and the world. And this is a high fantasy, adult high fantasy book, and it still feels really easy to read. It's really fast paced. I'm reading a lot, but honestly it's really fast paced and I just want to keep reading all the time. And I've heard Sarah J Maas talk about this on her Instagram, that this book means a lot to her, and it meant a lot to her that we would finally be reading from Nesta's point of view, and I can totally understand that. This book means a lot to me too, and I think it's going to mean a lot to a lot of people. It's not just fast-paced high fantasy, romance, the usual things in Sarah J Maas's book. It's raw, it's real, it's really dark, like in the themes and in the emotions and the things that Nesta is going through, and it feels real. I'm just gonna say this, I know a lot of people hate Nesta, and I completely understand why people hate her, because she did a lot of nasty stuff in the first 3 books and the novella, but I understand her now. And I absolutely love her. She is probably my favorite character of all the Sarah J Maas main characters. She's definitely my favorite character in this series. She is, without a doubt, I think my favorite Sarah J Maas main character. I love Aelin in Throne of Glass. I absolutely love her. So I don't know if like Bryce and Aelin is at a second place and Nesta is my first and Feyre is last. I liked her character and I liked her journey, and I liked her. But Nesta is next level, and also that is the same with the ship or the romantic couplings. Rhysand and Feyre, I know they are loved by many people. I don't like them that much. It's too sweet for me. So Nesta and Cassian, that's Endgame, that's my OTP. So it's no surprise that I am loving this book so much, and I love Cassian, and we get to see him in a whole different perspective, because I kind of thought he was dumb, to be honest, in A Court of Thorns and Roses. It turns out he's not all muscle. I don't know if they're my favorite Sarah J Maas couple, because Elide and Lorcan from Throne of Glass, I absolutely adore those two together. So maybe that's my first, then Nesta and Cassian, then Aelin and Rowan, and then Bryce and Hunt. You know, I really liked Bryce and Hunt, but when I think about it, they're not my favorite. I just feel like this whole book is so well written, the characters are well written, and you can feel Nesta's anger and hate. And at the same time that this book is really dark and it tackles a lot of dark stuff, it is filled with hope. It's just so important because Nesta is coping with the things that happen to her, and there's a lot of like coping mechanisms in this book that is very much inspired from a real world, like meditating. That is the thing in this book, and that brings hope to Nesta and her character arc, and I think a lot of people will be able to see themselves in Nesta. Okay, so now I've been talking a lot about how much I love Nesta. I absolutely love her. She's my favorite Sarah J Maas main character. We're just gonna put it out there. So that's my thoughts about this book so far. So now I just want to go back reading this damn book. Like, I will probably finish it tomorrow, and I'm really excited about finishing this book, and then I will be sad. I will be excited for finishing the book, but then I will be sad because I will have to wait a long time for another Sarah J Maas book. And I know she is releasing, or I think she is releasing, another Crescent City book this year. Okay, but I just want to read this book because I haven't read anything yet. So I will be getting back to reading and hopefully finishing it tomorrow. And I will of course update you guys again when I have finished the book. I look like a wreck right now. That's a tear. Or many tears. I didn't cry that much, but I cried. And I just wanted to update you guys, because this book made me cry. And update you guys right after the moment instead of talking about it when I had finished the book. This book breaks my heart. And the chapter that I just read, or I haven't finished reading it, I'm in the middle of it. Oh my god, this book is so emotional, this book is so good. I can say that I'm about 70% into the book, and that's all I'm gonna say. But okay, back to reading now. I'm gonna try and do my very best and not burning up all my books. We're gonna have a cozy little time. So I wanted to light my candle. I'm gonna try not to burn up my bookcase or myself, but I think we're good. I'm happy to announce that I have finally finished this book, and I felt crazy after finishing it. I wanted to scream, I wanted to cry, I wanted to laugh, just all the emotions at the same time, and damn, this was such a good book. I felt like I needed to wear silver today, and also something navy blue or dark blue, but I couldn't find anything in my own closet, so sorry mom. But I found this amazingly cozy blue sweater, and it also sparkles. And it felt perfect for Nesta and this book and the Night Court. So I'm gonna talk about my feelings about this book. So I have all the other A Court of Thorns and Roses books here in a little pile, and I'm just gonna put up A Court of Silver Flames right here because I read it on my iPad as a ebook. So I'm just gonna put up a picture here, and we can pretend that the book is standing on the pile of books behind me. But okay, I absolutely loved this book, and I devoured it in 4 days. I had to count, but I got it the morning of its release date last Tuesday, so the 16th of February, and today it's like the 19th. I don't think I've ever read a book this long, this fast. So I'm giving this book 5 stars. I don't know how I could give it any other rating. It was excellent, and it was the book I needed from Sarah J Maas, and the book I needed from this cast of characters and this world. And I just wanted more after finishing the story. I just want more from Nesta and Cassian and their adventures and the hardships that they went through in this book. I just want more from them. And I know Sarah J Maas is going to write more books in this series, but I don't know if those books are going to follow Nesta and Cassian or if we're going to follow another main character in the book. But I want it to be Nesta and Cassian because they are my favorite Sarah J Maas couple. Nesta is my favorite Sarah J Maas character. This was probably my favorite Sarah J Maas book of all of her books. And that says a lot Okay, so I have 2 points to talk about that I haven't talked about yet, and that I thought about when I was finishing the series. And that is that I was on edge. The last 150 pages, I was so on edge, and I made all of these weird, excited noises and face expressions like I'm doing right now. And I was so excited and scared because you never know. A book can end very badly and a book can end great. You never really know with Sarah J Maas, even though most of her books end at a great point. But you never know. And I was so scared. I was so scared and on the edge of my seat the last 150 pages because I just wanted everyone to be happy and just... So that was my mood throughout the last 150 pages of the book. I'm not gonna say anything else than that. I was on edge and I thought that the ending was great. I thought that the event that happened in the end, that was so fun and very interesting to read about. And I was rooting for the characters, and if you've read the book, I think you know what I'm talking about. And the other thing is that this book is very character focused. This book is very slow, you could say. We follow Nesta as she struggles with the things that happened to her in the past and her not trying to cope with it, but at the same time coping with it in her own way. And we follow her throughout her mental health journey in this book. So because of that, this book is kind of slow, but that was why I love this book so much. My favorite book in the Throne of Glass series is Heir of Fire, and that book is kind of like this book, in a way, because Aelin in Heir of Fire is at a very low point in her life and she is struggling with things that has happened to her, as well as Rowan helps her train her abilities. And that was slow, character focused, and plot was always there, but it wasn't at the forefront of the story. And it's the same with this one. It's slow, you got to see so much character depth and development in this book, and that is why I loved it. It was exactly what I needed. I have said that a lot of times, but this book was so good. And this book felt very personal because we don't follow that many different characters. We follow Nesta and Cassian from each POV, and of course we get to see the other characters as well, and as well as meet new characters. And I love the new characters, by the way. But at the same time, the cast is kind of small and we don't get to see what happens on the continent, and we don't get to see what happens in the human realms. We're just contained in this small bubble, and that is also why I loved it. Of course, we venture out of that bubble a couple of times in the book, but we're always going back to the smaller cast of characters and smaller world, I guess. Because sometimes I just want to read about a character going through some shit and dealing with that shit. And I don't want to be jumping from place to place or travel a lot, or... You know what I'm talking about? I think you do, but I don't know. And you know, if I compare, Six of Crows is that way, kind of. We get to see the city that they live in, and then we get to see another place. There's no, like, jumping POVs and jumping places that much. Like, we don't get two POVs from very different places, and I like that about Six of Crows. And I do think a lot of books do this because it is difficult to write from all over the place. But you know, a book with a lot of travel and not very depth in the story, as for example, I read Unravel the Dusk recently by Elizabeth Lim. I have a reading blog up on my channel already. I posted it last week. I will link that in this corner and also in the description below if you want to check that out. But that was a real disappointment, and I did not feel rooted in the story because of so much travel, and this book did the opposite, and I love that about this book. So okay, I love this story. I love the characters. Like, right after I finished the book, I just wanted to go on Goodreads and check if it was already out, or the little #5 A Court of Thorns and Roses book. Because, you know, Goodreads list unreleased books as like Untitled, A Court of Thorns and Roses, #5. And I just want to see if there's another book coming because it's so damn good. It's so good. I want to reread this right now. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and let me know in the comments if you have read the book already, or if you want to read the book, what you thought of this video. And yeah, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you want to. I post a new video every Thursday, every week, to bring new, fresh content to you all. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Update. Are you surprised? Because I'm certainly not surprised. I could only stand like 4 or 5 hours before I wanted to pick this book up again. So I finished it the morning of the 19th, and I started reading it the afternoon after finishing the book. And I'm already 25% into it, so... And I just want to say, I don't regret a thing. So with that said, now is the end of the reading vlog, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!